Hello, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast. I am Samuel Reese, pumped to be coming to you live tonight across YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. It's U.S.-Mexico. What more needs to be said? The rivalry is on the way in the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you all are having a wonderful Wednesday as we head to Guadalajara, Mexico, at Estadio Jalisco in the final game in Group A. And both of these teams with 2 wins, no losses, no draws, a perfect 6 points from the opening 2 games. And a look at Mexico-USA CONCACAF qualifier meetings since 1992. The U.S. beat Mexico 2-1 in 1992 and 3-0 in that same qualifiers. But in the early 2000s, it was Mexico who took down the U.S. 4-0 as they haven't met in quite a while in the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. But here they meet. There are fans in attendance. Obviously, most fans there are Mexico fans with these qualifiers taking place in Guadalajara. And let the game begin, folks. Both teams we know are through to the semifinals. However, up for grabs tonight is first place in Group A and what should be a more easier semifinal matchup, although there's no such thing, as an easy semifinal, but at least you'll get the easier path, or you should, as a for coming first place in the group. First place in Group A will face second place in Group B in those winner-take-all semifinal round. All right, we're underway. Mexico kicking things off. They're going from left to right in their black kits tonight. The U.S., meanwhile, going from right to left in this first half. I'll get to the lineups in a moment as Araujo has it for the U.S. It's a 9:40 Eastern time kickoff, 7:40 local time in Guadalajara. By the way, this Mexico team debuting their brand new alternate kits, which are definitely interesting to say the least. All right, let's get to those starting lineups. First, for Mexico, it's Luis Malagon in goal. The back line, Alejandro Mayorga, Johan Vasquez, Gilberto Sepulveda, and Vladimir Larroña. The 2 holding mids, Eric Aguirre and Jose Esquivel. The rest of the midfield consisting of Roberto Alvarado, Alexis Vega, and Uriel Antuna. And then up top, it is J.J. Macias making his first start in these qualifiers after dealing with an injury. For the U.S., it's David Ochoa back in goal. He had a phenomenal game against Costa Rica. Aaron Herrera, Henry Kessler, Mauricio Pineda, and Julian Araujo on defense. Johnny Cardoso, Andres Perea, and Hassani Dotson in the midfield. And then up top, it's George Mihailovic, Sebastian Soto, as well as Johnny Cardoso, as an early shot goes over the bar from Roberto Alvarado. Mexico have definitely looked very impressive. A lot of these players, despite it, of course, being a U23 team, are some of the top players in Liga MX, or at least for their respective clubs, have been producing big time. So they'll certainly be the favorites for this one. The U.S. need a victory to win the group. Despite these 2 teams being level on points, Mexico do have the superior goal difference. So as long as Mexico avoid defeat tonight, they're the Group A winners and would finish first in the group and face second place from Group B. As this is played into the feet of Uriel Antuna. Antuna back for Vasquez. Now laid out wide by Aguirre. Cross in from the left wing. It's blocked and out for a Mexico corner kick, the first corner of the night. Heading over to take it is Alexis Vega. Number 10 for Mexico. Here comes the delivery. Sent to the near post, flicked on inside the 6, headed clear by the United States. Knocked off his feet was Salcedo. It's won back by the Mexican. Strike from distance, just wide. An effort from way out. And not too far away was Johan Vasquez, the left back for Mexico. And as I mentioned, David Ochoa getting the start tonight for the U.S. He was superb in that game against Costa Rica to open up these CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. It was Marcinowski who got the start against the Dominican Republic on Sunday, but Ochoa back in goal for this one. Here is Henry Kessler, the New England Revolution. Kessler back for Ochoa. By the way, Ochoa, one of a few American players who are eligible to play for El Tri, but decided to pick the U.S. at least for now. And the same can be said for a couple of players on Mexico that are also eligible to play for the U.S. Here is Andres Perea of Orlando City. That pass taken away by Antuna. And the long ball will be chased down to the corner flag by Vega, but he won't get there. And it's a goal kick for the red, white, and blue. Both Mexico and the U.S. defeating Costa Rica and the Dominican Republic in their opening 2 matches of the group stage. Here come the United States. Through ball intended for Mihailovic. Loroña, there at the last second, and it's out for a U.S. corner. First corner kick for the United States. There is a pretty good atmosphere inside Estadio Jalisco tonight. Obviously, a limited amount of fans allowed to attend this one due to COVID-19, but still a decent amount. And it is George Mihailovic with the in-swinging delivery. Cleared away, but one back by the U.S. And that's played off of Alvarado by Sebastian Salcedo. The U.S. win a throw-in. It will be Aaron Herrera to take the throw. And that will be a foul committed by Sebastian Soto. Let's look back at the replay here. I don't know. Soto might have been bumped into the Mexican player by another Mexican player. Couldn't quite figure out who it was. But Soto was the one called for the foul as Sepulveda goes back to Malagon. Malagon, the goalkeeper for Mexico. 7 minutes in to this much-anticipated rivalry game. Here's a steal. The U.S. on the attack. Floated in towards Mihailovic, but it's broken up and cleared to midfield. And now here comes the Mexico attack, led by Aguirre. The U.S. able to intervene, but it's still in the possession of Mexico. That can't be saved on the far side by Aguirre. And it's Araujo who takes the quick throw in for the U.S. Well, I'll say this much, even though, there's not a whole lot at stake since both teams are through to the semifinals and just first place is up for grabs, which is still significant. But with there not being, a whole lot at stake for this match, I feel like for that reason, it could provide an instant classic for us because you see sometimes in these big games when there is a whole lot at stake in these rivalry matches that both teams kind of get tight and, aren't willing to take risks. And sometimes, it can provide a bit of a disappointing game. But with not a whole lot at stake, I get the sense that both teams are going to go for it. And perhaps we could get even a better game than if there were a lot more at stake in this one. But we shall see. Whenever the U.S. play Mexico, it tends to be a thrilling encounter. That's headed out for a Mexico throw. Roberto Alvarado will leave it for his teammate, Alejandro Mayorga. Or rather, it's Loroña to take the throw. And that's out for another Mexico throw. And much appreciated for all of you stopping by on this Wednesday night. And that's a foul committed by Mihailovic. Free kick awarded to the Mexicans. And the Jamaican referee tonight officiated the U.S. game against the Dominican Republic actually on Sunday. He can't let this game get out of control, or else it could get, if it gets chippy early on and the referee doesn't take control, it could get out of hand. We've seen that in the past when these two teams meet. So it was a quick free kick taken by Mexico, and they do get a corner kick out of it. And so here comes the second corner of the game for Mexico. Floated to the back post, headed on goal, and Ochoa snatches it out of the air. The U.S. goalkeeper getting some action early on. He'll throw it out to Araujo. Didn't seem like necessarily a comfortable save from Ochoa by any means. Seemed for a moment that it was going to go over his head. He misjudged it a bit, but still was able to make the stop and prevent any disaster from occurring. 0-0, 10 minutes played in Guadalajara, Mexico. Final match in Group A of these CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. Next up for both these teams will be the winner-take-all semifinals with a spot in the Olympics on the line. Remember, the U.S. have failed to make the Olympics for men's soccer the last two times. They haven't been to the Olympics since 2008, trying to change that this year. This is controlled by the chest of Alvarado. Alvarado into Aguirre. Now on the left wing, it's Vega. Nice defending as it's knocked away by Saucedo. U.S. back with it. Here's Johnny Cardoso. He finds Mihailovic, who made a huge impact off the bench in the game against the Dominican Republic. And there's a foul against the Mexicans. Free kick awarded to the U.S. This is an American team, for the most part, made up of MLS players. So this is still like preseason for them. Although it's now the third game of the tournament, starting to get into the hang of things and reach full match fitness at a crucial stage of the tournament. That's turned over by J.J. Macias. And a foul there as Mihailovic was clipped by Macias, and a little bit of pushing and shoving after the fact. Yep, Macias just coming in with a left foot. Easy decision for the referee. After all, it would not be a proper U.S.-Mexico game without a bit of chippiness. This is only expected when these two teams meet, and we're seeing some of that chippiness early on. Aaron Herrera will take the U.S. free kick. It'll be an epic Sunday when both semifinals take place. I'll be on the call for the United States semifinal, and then it'll be a busy day for me Sunday, but I'm looking forward to it because earlier that day at noon Eastern, I'll be on the call for the U.S. senior national team's game against Northern Ireland in a friendly from Belfast. It's a great week to be a United States soccer fan, with the U23s in the midst of Olympic qualifying, and then the senior team with a couple of big friendlies with a lot of European talent, European-based talent on that squad. It will be on the call for the second half of the senior team's friendly tomorrow against Jamaica, right after I get out of school. Here is Andres Perea. Now it's picked up by Aaron Pereira wide. Laid back to Perea. A driven ball deflects off the shin of Sepulveda and right to Malagon. Bit of pressure here from the U.S. With it is Esquivel. And now sending it to midfield is Mayorga. Oh, it's won back nicely by the U.S. Pass up the sideline. It's into the feet of Mihailovic. But he was in an offside position. That Mexico high line paying off. They were about, 10 yards from midfield, the last defender for Mexico. Let's look back. Yeah, about 12. Just offsides there was Mihailovic. What's going on, Bulldogs? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by over on Twitch. Appreciate the support and hope you're doing well. U.S.-Mexico in the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. A huge rivalry game. When these two countries meet, it's always must-see. Whether it be the U23s, the U17s, or the senior team. At any level. Here's a switch, and Araujo heads it over the end line. He does concede a corner kick. This will be the third of the game for Mexico as we've hit the quarter-hour mark. No score in Guadalajara at Estadio Jalisco. Leaning against the advertising board is Vega, ready to deliver this cross. It's a good ball in. The header just wide. Vasquez got a touch to it. Ochoa made a diving effort to make the save, but in the end, it was sent wide by Vasquez. He was claiming it was deflected, and he might actually have a case. Looking back on the replay, it just might have deflected off the head of Johnny Cardoso last. But it went unnoticed. Yeah, I think it did. But it is a goal kick awarded. So it's going to be tough to spot for the referee, especially, and even the AR, who probably had a better angle. That's turned over by the U.S. Mexico on the attack. Alvarado seeking out Antuna, but that pass cut out by the Revolution's Henry Kessler. Kessler had a great college career at the University of Virginia. And a free kick awarded to the U.S. Once again, it's Mihailovic who's fouled. That must be the fourth or fifth time he's been hacked already. Pass out wide by Saucedo. There's a steal, but it could not be kept in play. Or else off to the races Mexico would have been. No score early on between these two CONCACAF rivals. First time they've met at any level since the Gold Cup final back in the summer of 2019. It's been a while. And there's a free kick awarded to Mexico. Taken down was Roberto Alvarado. The challenge coming from Mauricio Pineda of the U.S. U.S. with everyone behind the ball. This is back with Vasquez. 18 minutes in, no score. And Mihailovic committing the foul this time around. It's certainly, ruining the rhythm of the game a bit. These constant fouls on both sides. We'll see. It's only a matter of time before the first card comes out, and we all know that. Perea, nice one-touch pass. Ahead to Johnny. Johnny in space. Double team now and has it stolen away. And retaliates with a heavy challenge. Taking out Jose Esquivel. Looked like Johnny Cardoso was just frustrated that he had it stolen. And it was a tackle of retaliation in that case. Here is Vasquez. Back it goes to Malagon. He gets it back from Sepulveda. Mexico seemed quite comfortable working it out from the back. Although that clearance from Malagon goes right to Johnny, who controls it nicely. Kessler out wide. It's saved by Herrera, who will win the throw-in. Herrera with the throw-in towards the middle of the pitch. Turning his defender is Pineda. Now it's Kessler. Back for Ochoa. Ochoa out wide. Controlled touch by Real Salt Lake's Aaron Herrera. Yeah, neither team really able to get into a rhythm yet. It's been sloppy at times. Reminder, tomorrow Group B action concludes in the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers at 7:30 Eastern Time. It'll be El Salvador taking on Haiti. And then at 10, it's Honduras against Canada. So much at stake in Group B. All four teams still alive into the final match day, battling for those two spots to get through to the semifinals. That will be intriguing tomorrow night at this stadium, Estadio Jalisco. Free kick sent in by Antuna, and the header straight to Ochoa. A comfortable save for the American keeper. He had 9 saves against Costa Rica. Undoubtedly the man of the match in that one. Here's Kessler. We approach the midway point of the opening half in Guadalajara. Maybe space opening up here. It's Johnny. Chance for the U.S. perhaps. It's now Aaron Herrera. Perhaps a handball. It goes unnoticed. Taken away by Loroña. Now in the midfield, Alvarado sends it wide. On the far side, and Antuna taking it on inside of Araujo. And the strike from distance goes wide of the target. Yeah, that clearly looked like a handball at the other end by Loroña. It went unnoticed, though, by the official, and it nearly led to a goal at the other end for Mexico. But in the end, not quite the strike that Mexico were looking for. The U.S. turned over in a dangerous area. Nice combination play. Edge of the area. Looking to slice through the defense, but unable to get through was Vega. And now it's the U.S. This one lands for Sebastian Soto. Long ball right to the feet of Mauricio. Sebastian Saucedo, not Pineda. Saucedo beats his defender to the end line. Saucedo looking to send it in, but ultimately ran out of space, and it will be a goal kick for Mexico. Well, play starting to open up a bit these last few minutes. Back and forth, these two teams go. Still no goals through 23 minutes. Seems like there was a little hesitation there from Saucedo after he beat the defender. With it for Mexico is Macias. Now on the near side, it's Loroña. This is a Mexico team who have certainly looked spectacular so far in this tournament. The U.S. have been solid, don't get me wrong, as well, but the way Mexico just dominated Costa Rica on Sunday night was very impressive. As Mexico turn it over, a U.S. throw in here on the near side. And now it's in the possession of Andres Perea. On the right wing, it's Saucedo. Now Hassani Dotson. Dotson back for Perea. Perea with some pressure coming. We'll lay it back to Araujo. Kessler now to the left side with Herrera. Was that a handball? Yes, indeed. As it struck the arm of Jose Esquivel. And a set piece here for the U.S. We'll see if they elect to bring numbers forward. Yep, looking back on the replay, you can see it struck the right arm of Esquivel. U.S. not with a whole lot of numbers forward. We'll see what area Mihailovic sends this one into. 25 minutes gone, 0-0 in Guadalajara. Curled in towards the far post by Mihailovic, headed out of the box. Perea was in the area, but it's won by Mexico. And now here they come, looking to spark the attack, is Alexis Vega. Vega, though, will play it back for Loroña. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of the broadcast. No score yet. The concluding game in Group A. It'll be the semifinals next for both of these sides, but still first place up for grabs in this one. Here's Esquivel. This is lofted in over the top. It's popped into the air in the end by Pineda, and the U.S. clear it out of danger. Quick throw in by Vega. This is all the way back. Vasquez to Malagon. Now Sepulveda. And for a lot of these players, of course, it's their first time participating in this long-lasting CONCACAF rivalry between the Mexico and U.S. Obviously, it's under 23 sides. Well, technically under 24 since the Olympics were postponed by a year. So it's quite a moment for these players' careers, in their young careers. Bright futures ahead for a lot of them. Oh, what a ball out wide. Here's a chance. In on goal was Vasquez, and what a tackle. Perfectly timed by Mauricio Pineda, who denies it was actually Mayorga of a brilliant opportunity. Wow. Mayorga just blew by Araujo, and in came Pineda out of absolutely nowhere to save the day for the U.S. I don't even think Mayorga saw him coming. Here's the fourth corner for Mexico. Maybe later I'll rant about these Mexico numbers, but the font just drives me crazy. I can't tell what some of the numbers even are. Corner kick given away. Here come the U.S. Down went Saucedo. No foul called. And now it's Mexico. Cross driven in, but right to the feet of Pineda it goes, who will now clear out to midfield and beyond. That will roll out for a Mexico throw-in. Let's go back to that Mayorga chance. Yeah, Araujo just completely lost track of the ball, or at least miscalculated that ball played across field, as Mayorga was in on an apparent breakaway until Pineda came in with a perfectly timed slide tackle. Brilliant defending, and that was the chance of the game so far for either side. Pineda, who plays for the Chicago Fire, his hometown team. He's a Chicago native. It was his rookie season last year with the Fire. He'll be someone to watch out for this season in MLS as Chicago try to reestablish themselves as a playoff team in the East. Here is Henry Kessler. Nice ball out wide. Aaron Herrera. Herrera into a double team. Last touched by him, and a goal kick for Mexico. Well, we're just about a half hour in. No score between Mexico and the United States. Thanks, everyone, for being a part of the broadcast. The stakes are high. The stage is bright in Guadalajara. And who knows, these two teams could meet again in the final. And at that point, if that turns out to be the case, both of them will have punched their tickets into the Olympics. It's a bit strange because this is a tournament where the semifinals are more important than the final, since the winners of each semifinals qualify to the Olympics. Reminder that MLS opening weekend is right around the corner. Friday, April 16th, 9:30 Eastern Time. It's Seattle against Minnesota. Then Saturday, April 17th, it's LAFC against the newcomers, Austin, in their debut game as a franchise. And then Sunday, April 18th, to close out a jam-packed MLS opening weekend at 5:30, it's the defending champs Columbus taking on the Philadelphia Union. A lot to look forward to in this upcoming MLS season. Finally, a full season, a full 34-game regular season on deck, and a lot of the teams will be allowing fans, including my home club, the New England Revolution. Hopefully, I can get to a few games. Should be great. Here's the cross, takes a deflection, headed away, kept alive by Alvarado, and that strike from Antuna went off a teammate who was in an offside position, and that was Alvarado. Unintentional, but offsides nonetheless. Was Alvarado as he got in the way of his teammate's strike. That's a poor pass played out of bounds. And Mexico throwing on the far side. Down the line. This finds J.J. Macias. Macias defended by Perea, and Perea knocks it away. Superb defending by the Orlando City player. Now it's back with Ochoa, who sends it towards midfield. Header won by Mexico. Macias fouled from behind. The infringement committed by Hassani Dotson. These Olympic qualifiers in CONCACAF were supposed to take place precisely a year ago. The tournament was about to start right when the pandemic hit. And so the Olympics got postponed a year. These qualifiers got postponed a year. We know 14 out of the 16 teams for men's soccer that will be participating in the Olympics this summer. The last two spots will belong to CONCACAF. CONCACAF, the last ones to have their qualifiers. The rest of the field is set. And come Sunday night, the entire 16-team field will be set for Tokyo this summer. Oh, it's flicked on. A little back heel effort from Macias. No power generated on the strike, though. And it's right to Ochoa. Ochoa with a long punt here, aimed towards Mihailovic. It is out for a U.S. throw. Mihailovic applauding the quick punt by Ochoa. Let's go back to that effort by Macias. That would have been a spectacular goal. Going with the heel flick facing away from goal But in the end, it was a routine save for David Ochoa. Down for Mexico, at least for a moment, was Jose Esquivel. Like he landed awkwardly perhaps on his ankle, but he appears to be fine. We continue. Thrown in by Herrera. Johnny has it stripped away, but that cannot be saved by Vega. A heavy last touch. Herrera takes the throw again in towards Johnny, but Vega comes in to clear. It's all the way back. Kessler will find Pineda. Here is Ochoa. Return ball for Pineda. U.S. work it out of the back. Now it's Araujo, the right back. Pereira with space through the middle. Mihailovic, one-time pass. Now it's on the far side. Saucedo coming inside. Pass didn't find Dotson originally, but Dotson won it back, and the U.S. maintained possession. 10 minutes plus remaining in the opening half. No score between Mexico and the United States. Here's Dotson. Now it's Saucedo. He's fouled. Free kick to the U.S. This is better from the U.S. The foul committed by Aguirre. Aguirre changing a few words with Saucedo, it appeared. And this is a very good position for this U.S. set piece. What can the United States do from the set piece? It's certainly in a dangerous area as the Jamaican referee sets the wall. It looks like Mexico will put two on the wall, both Antuna and Aguirre. Two standing over the ball, meanwhile, for the U.S. Looks like Mihailovic will send it in. He does. Great ball in! And it was sent away. There was a heavy collision, and play is immediately halted. The goalkeeper, Malagon, came out. I don't know if he got a partial fist to it or what, but he certainly sacrificed his body there. This was put into a very dangerous area by Mihailovic. Let's see the replay. No, it went off the head of Mayorga, and then Pereira and Malagon collided. And Malagon went down in a heap. And a lot of discomfort here. So he requires medical attention and a quick break in the action. 37 minutes played, no goals yet. So Malagon's evaluated. Certainly seems like it could be serious. As Juarro, the backup goalkeeper, gets his gear on and warms up just in case he is needed. And it seems like he may be needed because Malagon still wincing in pain. It's certainly something serious here. Obviously, that'll be a concern for the rest of this game for Mexico, but especially Sunday in that winner-take-all semifinal that they'll have on tap. I don't know if it's the way he landed or what. I believe it's his arm that's the issue. So Sebastian Jurado gets loose. He's the backup keeper at Cruz Azul. He did start actually in the second leg of last year's CONCACAF Champions League round of 16 matchup against LAFC. That was the game when LAFC came back in incredible fashion to move on to the quarterfinals. Of course, LAFC would eventually make it all the way to the final, where they just come up short against Tigres. But Jurado did play that game. Yeah, it's the left arm of Malagon that's causing him pain. And so in comes Jurado. That's it for Malagon. He will not be able to continue. So the backup keeper for Mexico has entered as Malagon's taken off to the side, currently on a stretcher. And we'll see what Malagon's status is for that crucial semifinal in 4 days' time, Sunday night. Be a big blow for Mexico if he is unavailable for that one. And as we resume play, that's a foul against Mexico. It's another free kick in same position as the last one. Taken down was Sebastian Saucedo. Here comes the set piece. Eight fouls apiece, 16 total in the opening 40 minutes. No surprise. Maybe what is the surprise is that we haven't seen a booking yet. Although that could very well change before the half comes to a close. Who knows? This free kick actually a bit closer than the last one. The wall set up just inside the box. Two on it for Mexico, both Aguirre and Antuna. So here we go, another U.S. set piece. Pretty deep line for Mexico. They're holding at the penalty spot. Send in the back post. Headed away by Gilberto Sepulveda. He was the first one to it, but the U.S. back in possession. They're not done yet. This is played ahead to Kessler. Henry Kessler plays it short to Mihailovic. Controlled by Cardoso at the penalty spot. Now it's Saucedo. His cross deflected out. It will be a United States corner kick. So this is promising from the U.S. And while all this is going on, Luis Malagon, the starting keeper for Mexico, is being stretchered off into the locker room. He is still in a lot of pain right now. This seems like a very serious injury for Malagon. And just by the looks of it, I don't want to speculate anything, but just by the looks of that, I don't know if he'll be available for that crucial semifinal on Sunday night for Mexico. This is headed away. Mexico clear their lines. And now play is halted. An injured Mexican behind the play. It was Jose Juan Macias, JJ Macias, as he's called, down, but he appears to be all right. He was the one actually who headed away, involved in a collision with Andres Perea of Orlando City. Thanks, everyone, for being a part of the broadcast. 3 minutes remain in the half. Still no score in this rivalry game, final group game for both these teams in these CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. The U.S. looking to qualify for the Olympics for the first time since 2008. Mexico switched fields. That pass couldn't get through for Uriel Antuna, but it's won back by Mexico. They're not done on this attacking sequence. They'll move it back, though, into their own half of the pitch. Sepulveda out wide. Header won by Araujo. But it goes right back into the feet of Macias. Down that left wing, it's Antuna. 2 minutes until we reach first half stoppage time. Antuna dancing on the ball. Great cross in. Flicked away by the head of Aaron Herrera. Now it's sent forward with the pass too far ahead from Laroña. And it's a goal kick for the United States. Well, no goals yet, but it's been a bit less chippy this last quarter hour or so. not as many fouls. Both teams getting into a bit of a rhythm, and we're starting to see some more open play. Yeah, going back to that Malagón injury, I think his shoulder just kind of extended back a bit too far when he collided with Perea. So that's where the injury occurred. Oh, a great ball played down the middle. Mihailovic on the chase. Mihailovic out wide. Flicks it back to Johnny. Johnny Cardoso, though, has it knocked away from behind. And now Mexico will work it out of the back. This is sent to midfield, controlled by the chest of Henry Kessler. He'll play it all the way back to the U.S. keeper, David Ochoa. Time winding down in the first half, 45 seconds until we reach stoppage time. But with that Malagón injury, we can expect a pretty substantial amount of time added on to the conclusion of the first half. Or the first 45 minutes. This is a very poor giveaway by Soto. Here's the strike. Goal. Mexico strike first. And it's none other than Uriel Antuna. 1-0. Mexico take the lead. It's a poor giveaway by Soto, and Mexico are there to capitalize. A strike from distance. It's Antuna from long range, and the Mexico fans in attendance making the most noise we've heard all night. With good reason. The hosts strike first on the verge of halftime. 45th minute goal. It's Uriel Antuna who puts Mexico on top. It comes down to a bad mistake. Sebastian Soto with a poor giveaway. And just like that, it's into the back of the net. Just a bad back pass. And Antuna took it away, cutting onto his right foot. Strike from just outside the box. Perfectly placed, bottom left corner. Ochoa could not extend out to get a touch on that ball. Enough pace on the strike. The precision was certainly there. It's Mexico 1, the U.S. 0. Not the end to the first half the U.S. were looking for. Two minutes added on to this first half. We're already 1 minute into stoppage time. And now let's see how the United States look to respond. They now will need 2 goals without conceding to win this group. It's not undoable, but it's certainly going to be a difficult task against this stingy Mexico defense. That cross from Salcedo blocked. The U.S. do win a corner kick as we are moments away from that halftime whistle now. Can the U.S. counterpunch? Salcedo takes it over the head of Herrera. Back out, and the one-timer is sent wide from Aaron Herrera. Couldn't quite time it off the bounce, and that should just about do it for the opening half of play. And yep, there it is. The halftime whistle blows, and it's a 45th minute goal from Uriel Antuna, and in Guadalajara, it's Mexico 1, the United States 0 in this CONCACAF Men's Olympic Qualifying matchup. Unfortunately, folks, that will have to put a wrap on my broadcast. I do have school tomorrow, have to get up pretty early. I wish I could do the rest of this game, but it is pretty late already. Unfortunately, it was a pretty late kickoff. But after all, both teams are in the semifinals. So not, at least it's not a matter of, the U.S. having to get a result to go through. We know they're through, so I'm comfortable with ending the broadcast, even though I'd love to do the rest of the game. But I will see you for the U.S. semifinal on Sunday, either at 6 or 9 Eastern time. And then tomorrow for the U.S. senior national team, I'll be on the call for the second half of their match against Jamaica. Make sure you check that out. Looking forward to that as well. Go USA. Hopefully they can come back in the second half. Hope you enjoyed my first half commentary. It's Mexico 1, the U.S. 0 after 45 minutes of play from Guadalajara.